Hi everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is you're watching me. Now I like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening because I don't know what time it is you're going to be watching me and I just want to say good everything to that time. Yeah, it's me again. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody that has been watching me, listening to what I have to say, and using a fair conscience to reason and analyze the things I've said. Now, of course, I know there'll be some people that they just want to have a blind eye. They just want to keep a blind eye to what's going on. They just want to pretend because somehow in our hearts we've gotten to a point where God is no longer of relevance. It is men, sons of men. I don't even want to call them men of God. It is sons of men. And I'm sure if you have been following Mrs. Funke Ashekun's page, there's a particular lady that called in. I think that was the last one she did. A particular lady called in and she was mentioning names of MFM pastors and the things she experienced with them, including the general overseer himself. And the beautiful thing I've learned about life is that eventually, if you're someone who is doing evil, if you're someone who is doing or perpetrating evil, eventually your cup will be filled. And the moment your cup is filled, it will spill. And now people are having the boldness and the confidence to talk. People are having a reason to start to look at these sermons objectively, not just through the lens of common reasoning, but through the lens of the scriptures. And realize that MFM is not what it claims to be. But what hurts me the most, like I can't say it hurts me the most, but what breaks my heart is when I see people come and say, the God of MFM did this. The God of MFM did that. And I smile. Is that God not your God? Because when Jesus rose from the grave and Mary went to the grave and she was crying, Jesus told, okay, let me move from the part where Mary said Rabboni and she wanted to touch him. And Jesus said, do not touch me, for I have not ascended unto your God and my God, unto your Father and my Father. He told her to go and tell, hold on, let me bring my Bible before I start saying rubbish. Okay, sorry, I think I got the explanation wrong. So it's John 20:17. That's why I don't like saying anything in my Bible is not wrong before I end up saying heresy. So Jesus told Mary, do not cling unto me, do not hold me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and tell them I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. There's this place where God has been separated from men by these people, where it is now so comfortable for you to say the God of MFM. Now, I know some people also say it in other denominations, but most times when I see people want to defend him in my comment sections, they will say, the God of MFM did this for me. The God of MFM did that for me. And one day I had to respond to that person. And I said, that God you just made mention about, or the one you just referenced to, is he not your God? Why is it that people are no longer confident to acknowledge that God is their God and not just the God of an institution? Because if Paul is saying that we've not received the Spirit again to fear, but the spirit of sonship with which we cry, Abba, Father. Oftentimes, the peace and the substance to acknowledge that God is your Father is stripped away from people. And for that reason, when things happen to you that is good, you believe that it's because you're attending a certain church. You don't believe that you as a person can get something from God anymore. In your head, they've gaslighted you. Now, I'm not talking about everybody watching me, but I'm talking about those people that always say God of MFM. They've gaslighted you into believing that when something happens, it's because you're attending a particular church. So you say, the God of MFM did this for me. But when you look at the parable of, the story of Jesus with the woman, the Samaritan woman at the well, Jesus Christ told her in person, a time is coming that you will neither worship God on this mountain nor on that mountain. But those that would worship God would worship God in spirit and in truth. That closeness, such that you're one with Him. And therefore, Mark 11:24 says that, therefore, whatsoever you ask in prayer, when you pray, believe you receive them, and you shall have them. But yet, when you receive them, you don't even believe that you receive them because He is your Father. You believe that you receive them because of the God of a particular church. And I can say with my mouth that what these people are committing is treason. Treason against God. And I will explain why it is treason, because if I want to explain, that's just where the issue is. If I want to explain, I'll be speaking a lot of deep things in the scriptures. And oftentimes people just don't get it. But I'll still say it anyways. When God created the first man, by one man's disobedience, sin entered the world. You had death. You had this word, from your sweat you shall eat. And that's the thing, when it comes to that topic, that particular verse, that statement, I wish I can find time. I wish all these things on my table can be addressed, and I would find time to explain the implication of that word, from your sweat you shall eat, because it was not designed to be so. And because of that singular statement, a lot of things has happened. From your sweat you shall eat. And you look at how things happened afterwards. After Adam sinned, a lot of things happened. You had death. You had Abel being killed by his own brother. You had his blood seeking and speaking for vengeance. You had a lot of things that happened. And here is God giving us a covenant better than the old covenant, ushering us into a new realm where God is united with man, all the race of men. If all these things that happen, if by the reason of the sin of Adam, we've fallen short of God's glory, we've been separated from God, we've seen Shege Pro Max, we are all guilty, because the Bible says there's no one righteous, no, not one. And here is God taking it upon Himself to sacrifice Himself to buy our redemption, to forgive us, and give us another chance, better than anything anybody can offer. And yet, you then find some people understanding that and willfully claim to represent him and enslave people mentally, psychologically, physically, financially, taking advantage of their ignorance, and most importantly, separating them from the love of God. And what I mean by separating them from the love of God is you then come and tell them fables that are not true, that makes them distance themselves and see God as this high school principal that they are begging money from. Have you not committed treason? Have you not committed treason that way? Because when I talk sometimes, it might sound heavy. And a lot of things, that's why sometimes when I think about the things that happened to me, I'm really grateful it did. Because maybe I would have not even understood any of these things and I'll still be living my life in that confusion. Maybe I'll still be in MFM. Maybe I'll still be screaming die by fire. But thank God it happened. Because with it, I was able to understand all these things and look for answers myself. But as I said, a lot of things I want to talk about today, I don't even know where to pick it up from. Because I told you a lot of things are already documented down. So it's not about, oh, I'm just waiting to say, what am I going to talk about today? No, I have a lot of it to talk about. And it's simple. Because I saw somebody putting something on their comments, on the comment section and saying, oh, it's beginning to look suspicious. Why am I after Olukoya alone? It's beginning to look suspicious. And I don't even want to insult anybody anymore. Not because I don't have my mouth, but you people don't. You don't know who you're messing with. And you also don't understand the implication of the things that is going on. So it's so easy for you to just talk. And I just don't have the energy to be attending to all those kind of stupid conversations anymore. 2 days ago, I came across a post on YouTube. And if Mrs. Funke Ashekun is watching this video, she will bear me witness. Ever since I watched that video, I've been down. Like you, even my husband noticed. I was just down. It broke my heart in a way that I don't even know how to explain it. And as always, I suck at technology. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not a content creator. I don't have the intention to entertain anybody, because there's nothing to entertain anybody about. But there is a time where you ask yourself, if this God is the God that we all will stand before, and he watches us, and we expect him to give us paradise, we expect him to give us eternal life, and the singular requirement of that commandment, as I have loved you, love you one another. That's the only condition. He said it, and this is the commandment of the new covenant. Every single time you look around you, you see people being hurt. You see people being taken advantage of. You see people hurting. You see people weeping. You see people suffering. You see people starving. And we just look away. Like my grandmother would say, she would say, I just knew for some weird reason I was never comfortable with that proverb. And every time my grandmother said it to me, I would tell her, Grandma, I don't like it. Because the question you should have asked is, why are they running mad? But it's okay for them to run mad as long as your family member is not mad. And that is what has led us to where we are today in MFM. Because I'm going to share the video. Because I'm not a tech person. So I tried to see if I could get the permission of the person to share the video, to post the video on my page. But then I couldn't find their email address or anything. And I had a very, very busy day yesterday. So I did not even have time to be asking. And so I'll just share the link. Unfortunately, the video is in Yoruba. So what I would do is that I would use my mouth to interpret, to summarize what the video is all about, and then you can go and watch the video. I was trying to talk about it on Grace page on Twitter, doing a space, as live space yesterday, but then I think the network was bad. Now, this story, I was not there. It did not happen to me. So I cannot come with my full chest and tell you that this is fact. But this is someone calling on a page to narrate how MFM scattered their family. In fact, the funny thing is this: it's not even a regional pastor, it is your G Hon himself that they met. Now, before I summarize, I've observed that there have been occasions now where people are coming out and calling in on platforms to explain, and there's one thing that is common to all of them in all those stories: separation. At the end of the day, the family gets separated. At the end of the day, there is always a discord that splits a family. I've observed that trend in every caller that calls in, or anybody that calls in to share their experience, that I've noticed. Now, this lady, I'm terrible at Yoruba, you will bear with me. This lady called in on Rotimi somebody, Emma Binumi Fishikau. It's just now, Rotimi might be this kind of person that he does not even want to hear anything about the Bible anymore, because when you look at the things that are coming out from the Christendom, when Jesus Christ was saying when he comes, will he still meet faith? He was not joking. When you go on that man's page, the Yoruba person, and you listen to the things that are being said, you will wonder. Because I cannot believe how we allow this madness in a lot of churches to get to this point. You'll be hearing stories of a pastor knowingly having HIV and infecting young children. Teenagers. You will hear a story of a pastor calling a lady from USA to come and seizing her passport. You will be hearing stories of a pastor that is bringing Holy Communion in the middle of the night and chanting incantation inside the Holy Communion. And you wonder, me? I don't even want to. You can go to his page and you would listen to a lot of things. I will share the link. But this story, this lady said I was not there. So I'm not saying this as fact. I'm just narrating I'm summarizing what I got from the, how do I put it? The video. And I'll share the link. This lady said that she went to see the General Garcia with her sister. That's Dike Olukoya. There were people waiting outside, but because she had a letter from a minister, because her sister's boyfriend had a letter, I think the sister's boyfriend was dating the minister or something. I don't know who the minister is. She did not make mention of the minister's name. And immediately they got the letter, they gave them VIP treatment. And she wondered, why would they ignore every other person that had been waiting outside? Is it not supposed to be fairness? But then she did not say anything. She said afterwards, she met with the General Overseer, Dike Olukoya, and Dike Olukoya gave her prayer points and told some people to follow and go pray for her, while her sister sat with the General Overseer in his office. She said afterwards, when they were praying, she observed that the people that they gave her to pray for her, the things they were talking about did not make sense. They were talking about another member that had offended them, and they were cursing the person and saying that they will ruin the person's life. The person should not worry. While they were praying for her. And she was wondering, what the hell? Is this not supposed to be love in the church? And here you are gossiping about somebody and hatching a plan. And now you will destroy the person's life while you were praying for another person. She said so she just quickly made sure that she was done with the prayer point. Each prayer point, 1 minute, she was done. They said afterwards, anytime they will go to Prayer City, I don't know where, like anytime they will go to MFM, I don't know if it's Prayer City or anywhere. I like calling everywhere Prayer City. Every time they will go to the church, they would observe that a lot of people would just rush to her sister's car and they'll be begging for money. And she wondered, what kind of church has so much poor people that they are always begging for money? But then they said, keep praying. She said afterwards, all of a sudden, the sister went missing. Nobody knew the whereabouts of her sister. Nobody knew where her sister went. Everybody was wondering what happened. Is the sister okay? The mom was sick. They were looking for her everywhere. They couldn't find her. They were calling her. They couldn't reach her. Eventually, they went to the boyfriend who was the minister. I don't know if it's the boyfriend or fiancé, but she had a relationship with somebody. They went to meet the person, the minister, and the minister had his own afas, his own religion. I think he should be a Muslim or something, because if you have a father, you're probably a Muslim. Those men, he has religious people in Saudi Arabia. And those ones said, when they were done doing their sand to check, that the lady is in the north. The northern part of Nigeria. So they went. They said the lady is in the north. That if they want to find her, they should look towards the northern part of Nigeria. Along the line, somebody gave them a hint that they saw the sister at MFM in Abuja, and that they saw her buying zobo. Her hair has been shaved. Oh, before then, that she had been having dreams of that's why I said I'm a terrible person when it comes to summary. But then they found out that her hair has been shaved. So they gave them news that they saw her there. So the father and some people went down with the sister, not this one talking, but the other sister. They went to the north. They went to Abuja, and they went to the church. They were asking for the sister. Nobody was ready to tell them where the sister was. And they were wondering, they met one person that speaks Edo, and they spoke to John and said, this lady is here, don't worry, you'll find her. Eventually, they saw the sister. She had her hair shaved. She was a shadow of herself. This is the person that they said was extremely rich, that she had 3 cars. She used to travel to Dubai. She was a businesswoman. She was doing fine. That she cannot even drink water if it is not, she cannot just even drink any kind of bottled water. It has to be certain brands. And now they are seeing her buying zobo at the roadside. And then he said she came out and she started cursing, saying that the family is possessed, they are witches. If the God of Olukoya allows them to get home safely, then the God of Olukoya is not the God. They were cursing. You know, there was fight. And he said the sister was so pissed off at this lady. Why are you doing this? There was this argument. And she said she was not going home with them because they are the problem of her life. They are the one bewitching her. And they said the father was almost going to cry, that your mother is home searching for you. She's sick. She's sad. She's depressed that she can't find you. And here you are. You're saying you will not go home with us. Eventually, they said one of the ministers there then told the Baba that your daughter is not following home. And the man laid a curse on that man, on the minister. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, that this is me at this age, while I'm gray, My daughter is denying me. And you think this is a funny matter. And he then said, if all things be true, by the time you reach my age too, as God liveth and his spirit is alive, your children will deny you. The same measure that you've brought pain to me. The man cursed the minister, then they went home. The man could not even eat. He went back to the hotel. They had to force him to eat something. And he went. Eventually, the mother died. They told the lady, they called the lady to come and attend the family meeting for the burial. She did not. Eventually, she came on the burial day. And she didn't even relate with anybody. From the way the lady talked, you could feel that there was this separation. But the one she said that sweet my soul, I don't know if it is sweeting my soul I'm supposed to use as a word. Eventually, they had another burial. And they said that they invited this lady. When it was time for them to pour the sand on the coffin, I don't know who died because I was busy just doing two things at the same time. They said this lady brought anointing oil and poured anointing oil on the coffin. I started saying, I separate myself from this family. I separate all those kind of separation. I bind every witchcraft killer. I separate myself. I'm going to die by fire. It happened. And later they heard that it was the GO himself that transferred the lady. Then she came again some years after and brought the man and said she wanted to do introduction. He said it was a regional pastor of MFM. They sure did the wedding like that, bara. The wedding ended. They came again some years after and told the father they wanted the house, a portion of the house, to set up a church. Because God said he will give them a church. He will give them a home in heaven. The man agreed because, what parent does not love his own child? Eventually, it became a problem. So much that the man had to lock them out of the house. And later on, the man and the woman divorced. It was a messy story. But till date, they don't have a relationship as it used to be before. The lady then said there was a time that she came, this MFM lady then came to her house, and she was making reference to the fact that they used to go to court to testify against people. I wasn't there. It was what she said. I'll share the link for those that can speak Yoruba and can understand Yoruba. Or if you have somebody that speaks Yoruba and understand Yoruba, let them narrate to you as they're listening. That this lady said that they used to go to court to testify against people. Does it make sense? And she said she looked at her sister, the one that used to be so bright, had properties. She had nothing. Someone that used to be very, very rich, she has been reduced to nothing. I'll be sharing the link of that video down because I'm not going to lie, I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person when it comes to narrating things people said. That's why I said I used to do a lot of summary in high school because I was just terrible at narrating things. Like, at the same time, I don't want it to be like you hear from my mouth. I want people to hear from the horse's mouth. I will share the link. Now, there's another video of another person that still came on the same platform to narrate their experience with MFM. And this one said that there was even a 6-month-old child that was subjected to fasting. Dry fasting. The baby was crying. The mother was crying. She was begging them to allow her to breastfeed the baby. But they said no. I didn't say it though. It was in the video audio. I'll share the link. Because the things that I know, I will face it with my full chest and I will defend it die. But if it is not something that I am certain of, I don't defend it. That's why I said I will share the link. Is everybody lying? is at this point, because that's the reason why I don't want to put it on my page, because I don't want to guys say, oh, she knows those people. I don't know them from Adam. I don't know them from anywhere. But then all these people that are coming to share their experiences, is it still witches and wizards? Is it still witches and wizard at this point? Because I noticed a lot of people say, oh, I want to see evidence. I want to see evidence. Now people, that's why I just knew that a lot of people will start to come out and talk. Now people are coming out to share their experiences, including the one they had with the general overseer himself. Are they all lying? Is it witches and wizards for everything? Because I still want, tomorrow, I want to talk about the power of these people to separate families. The power of these people to separate people. And that is what is going on. They're separating people. But in the context of what I'm talking about, I would explain it in details tomorrow. Are all these people, are they all lying? Because this particular lady, when she was talking, she was mentioning names. This divide and conquer attitude continues because we allow it. My people, please watch this video. And I hope to God you're not sad the way I'm sad. But let us ponder and ask ourselves, what the heck is going on? Thank you.